Come on, let's go.
Hurry up.
I was grabbing a beer.
Welcome to PorchTlk, the podcast where some 20-somethings or maybe 30-somethings, I don't know how old Hailey is right now, get into their lives, help you figure out your life along the way. I'm Eric.
Ezra, Brockwood Elementary, class of 06, valedictorian.
I'm Hailey.
Hales, are you 30?
I am 30. I'll be 31 in October.
You're 30?
Oh, so damn,
Sheesh.
old as hell.
Feels
Shit.
bad. Yeah, I don't like saying it out loud, but it is what
I
it
don't know if
is.
I'll ever make it there.
Actually, I feel like I knew that because I feel like I saw you post something where there was was it a big cutout of you or your brother for a birthday recently or not too long ago?
Yeah, that was me. That was my birthday last year. My boyfriend made a giant cutout of me. I actually have it in my room. It's from the 4th
That
of July,
seems a
so I'm
little
stressed.
self-absorbed. Still have
I
a
thought it was
cutout of
hilarious.
yourself a year later.
I thought it was funny. He worked really hard on it. I didn't want to get rid of it.
No, believe
And
me,
when
I
I'm gone on
understand.
the boats, yeah, like when I'm gone on the boats, I'm like, it's like I'm still here, you know?
Just watching.
Yeah, when you leave, he pushes that shit to the ground.
Probably in the closet. Can be a little
People
creepy.
flip down photos. He just flips down the whole cutout. Just can't do that.
Yeah, it's fine.
God. Yeah, Hales is back. Hasn't been on the podcast for a while. She has been out at sea, I feel like on and off for years, but she has been making good money. If you want to make some good money and work the hard seas, it can be done.
Yeah, I
I'm not
recommend.
considering good money because you can work the hard seas or you can go strip. Like, come on, what are we doing? Money
I
is
mean,
everywhere.
yeah, like if you get seasick or you're not one to work manual labor, then I would recommend stripping instead.
Stripping.
Is stripping
But
But
not also manual labor?
the reverse, if you do not want to be felt up or deal with maybe guys with not the greatest hygiene, try the sea.
uh, I mean, I've had to share a room with guys before, so you might still get stuck with bad hygiene
Mm.
people.
So what we're hearing is bad hygiene is everywhere, fellas.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can't escape that.
yeah, you really
Mm.
can't get away from it.
Hell of a lineup this week. Very strong lineup that Ezra cooked up for us.
Cooked up something crazy.
Must have known Hailey was coming. I'm gonna go easy, then we'll get into it. Who can show up to your house unannounced and it's not going to be a problem? Because I think there has to be a difference. It's not a problem because you could just show up unannounced and kind of like whatever,
And the problem is like you're annoyed or frustrated, not like we're
caught off
shooting
guard.
them. So like clearly not robbers and shit like that.
Yeah,
I thought about this for a little bit once I heard this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Unannounced, because in my mind, like unannounced is like they didn't even like give me a call or shoot a text. They're just like at my
doorbell
door ringing a doorbell.
ring. Yep.
Unannounced might really only be me or Mariah's parents, and then like
Me.
maybe I'd say the best friends we have. I'll say our bridal party. So like her bridesmaid, my groomsmaid. Those are probably our closest friends.
Fuck
They
yes.
were in town and we're like, hey yo, we were in town. By the way, thought we were gonna swing by off the way, or I had to pick someone up from the airport, or you're right off the highway. We're just dropping by on our way through. Then I'd let it slide. But that's probably the only people in only scenarios someone can pop up in my house unannounced. And that still might be too many.
that's honestly too many.
Like now I'm thinking about it, I was like, wait a second.
Because
My
that
first
we're
thought was,
driving down. We're driving down to the beach on Saturday, and we have to go through Charlotte. And I was like, "Dan, do I just have to pop up to Ezra's place now, unannounced?"
No, that would be insane.
so I can't show up unannounced, is what you're saying. It's a hard
Not a
no.
chance. Hard, super
Mhm.
hard no.
That's fair. My first thought was like, I don't want anybody showing up unannounced.
Yeah.
But when I really think about it, like I'm all about, a little surprise here or there. So I don't really think I would mind most people. But I will say that not too long ago, someone did show up unannounced, and it was my stepdaughter's mom. And that was I was like, what's going on here? I thought something was wrong at first. She ended up staying for like 2 hours chatting. I was like, okay, I want to eat dinner. Like, please go. But
See, that's another one of my problems where I was trying to factor into this. Because, like, situationally and circumstantial, like, I might really have some shit going on. So now what? You
right.
just derailed my day? I don't have a lot of free time. I enjoy the free time I have. Anybody unannounced might really piss me off low key now and I'm thinking about it. The more I think about it, the farther away I'm getting from my original answer.
I think it probably also factors in, is it a pop in, pop out? Or are you trying to sit down like
Ooh,
Hailey was dealing with for 2 hours? Because a pop in,
yeah.
pop out, it can be a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, that could have been a pop in. Like, she was just trying to drop off some money for, our daughter's camp, like the fee for camp. But
Mm-hmm.
then it got chatty, and I was like, oh my God. If it's someone I'm really
Mm-hmm.
close to, I'm comfortable being like, yo, I got shit going on. Like, love you, but like, please leave. I have stuff to do. But she's,
Yeah.
not that person. So I wasn't trying to make her feel bad or anything because really all I had to do was eat dinner, but like, I was hangry.
Listen, you get
Mm.
hungry. Shit happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Re-altering my answer. Any of the people I listed before can pop in if it's a quick in and out under 15 minutes. The only person who could pop in unannounced and expect to linger would be either of our parents.
Shout out Van.
And if she
Good
come down
one.
here, it's a dark. I'm getting her out of here as quick as possible.
Yeah. I think family for the most part, unannounced, you're kind of like, all right, shit, I wish you would have told me, but like you can deal with it. I don't know
Or
about
good.
anybody else unannounced.
I'd be down for like a true friend, like a real friend that I enjoy hanging out with. But if it's someone that like I'm not that close with, then I would just feel awkward. I'd be like, do I have to like feed you? Like do I have to like plan an
Mm.
activity? Like I'm not about that. I can't do that on the spot.
Yeah, imagine if you only had
Oh,
some leftovers for yourself, then you got to feed someone else. I can't be doing that. What are we
I
doing?
agree. I was about to say because like if you're about to eat dinner, the alternative is like, yeah, I'm about to eat. Step inside, but now do I have to feed this nigga too?
Right. Like
Then
what if
you
I don't
have
have
to.
enough? What if you don't
Now
like
you got
it?
to split it.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Or
We're
you got to
just
Get
go
three
turning.
and get
tacos,
food.
1.5 for each of you.
No, I'm not sharing my tacos. That's not happening. I'm passionate
I
about
don't.
that.
If you pop in, I don't think you should be owed any food. You shouldn't have any expectations. You're just popping in. You don't even know what you're popping into.
That's the problem, though. A person who is willing to pop in unannounced knows no bounds. They may think that they're owed some food too.
Damn.
Yeah. And then like
Next time
if
I
you're
s-
an asshole if you don't offer it. Like you're just eating
Mm-hmm.
your food and they're there chilling and it's like you're obligated
Yeah,
to offer it up.
that's a tough one.
next time Ezra's grilling up some stuff when I see it on Snap, popping in immediately. Just driving
I'll
all
throw
the
it
way
on
to
the ground.
Charlotte.
Yeah, I'm gonna drive down just so I can pop in unannounced and see how you react.
That would be so terrible. Oh my gosh.
Shout out to Poppins. All right. Let's get really into it. Could your significant other be a surrogate? And if so, do they need to run that by you? Also, I'll just answer this question now because this was a follow up. Do surrogates get maternity leave? They can get up to 12 weeks unpaid leave through the Family and Medical Leave Act. Just have to have certain like stuff within your company. It has to be like over 20 people, certain amount of hours worked a year, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so unpaid. Already
Yeah.
don't love the sound of that, but it is what it is. Um, like I said, Morgan Narration dropped a 3-hour episode, so it was tons of stories. There was one that stood out about a surrogate. It's tricky because it is by all means do whatever you want, woman. It's like your body go crazy, but I do think it gets dicey if you don't run it by your significant other. Because I was reading the story from the dude's perspective, and they already had 2 kids. and like he was under the impression they wasn't having no more kids, which I guess technically they wasn't. And like there was already a lot going on in their life and things of that nature. But her sister couldn't have kids and asked her to be a surrogate,
Mm.
so she was gonna pop the kid out for her. The issue with that was like he was like Shorty went through like a 18-month dark postpartum, which I get it. Like I was there for her with her second child. Like that comes with pregnancy for some people. It is what it is. But we had already decided we weren't having kids before the second kid. We had the second kid. It was a long road back, like out of depression for you. And now you're signing not only you but me up as well for this. And I think the part where I was like the most intrigued with that is clearly it's her body, understandably, but she's also like now signing her family up for at least the 9 months of her pregnancy, whatever changes that brings to the household. And then like the unknowing of what can come after that. So I'm firm on you probably have to be in alignment with their significant other on that because that could lead to like all sorts of resentment otherwise. But he was getting beat up in the comments. The comments was big, her right, her body, her right. She doesn't have to run shit by you. She's doing this for her sister, blah, blah, blah. He was getting beat the fuck up. But I absolutely see where he was coming from. And I wanted to make sure I wasn't tripping as a man. Like, I thought it made logical sense the way he was breaking it down in my thought process. That's why I said we had to have a woman present for today because I don't know why he
Mm.
was getting beat up so bad in those comments.
I don't think he deserves to get beat up either. Like, I am a woman. I am all about us getting to make decisions for ourselves and our bodies, but when you're in a relationship, like, that is a huge event. Like, you're
Mm.
like, that is literally a life-changing event. So I would never agree to be a surrogate for someone without running it by Jason and without getting his input. Like, I just couldn't imagine doing that without your significant other being okay with it for all the reasons that you said. Like, there's a lot that comes along with it. But, in the same time, like, if I had someone come to me that I loved and cared about and they were not able to have a baby and I was able to do that for them and I wanted to, I'd fucking hope that Jason would be okay with it because you got to think about those people. Like, if they can't do it on their own and they need someone and they want someone they can trust and you are that person for them, you would kind of like hold the baggage of like being like, fuck you, I'm not going to do this for you for your whole life. Like, I mean, some people are not givers in that way and they're not empathetic in that way, but I would feel guilty if I had just said, sorry, I can't. Jason said no. Like, that would suck.
Jason put his foot down.
He put his
Right.
foot down. I like that. Um, Two questions. One, would your significant other be out of line to ask you how much you're getting paid for this?
No.
Okay. So
No.
if he
I
like
mean,
puts a money value on it and he's like, yo, they gotta give us 35 or like there's no way, you're not upset of like a money being attached to this? Because Shorty wasn't getting paid. She was doing this as a favor for her sister. And no chance. Not a chance.
Oof,
wow.
that's generous.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
super generous.
my cousin actually was a surrogate for it's like a cousin that we're not related to, you know what I mean? Like, we call them cousins, but, like, we're
Yeah.
not actually she was a surrogate for them because they were not able to have kids, and I don't really know the specifics on their situation. I actually just saw them over the weekend. If I woulda known we were talking about this then, I could have asked her, but I feel like when you go through, like, programs, the family that is not carrying the baby that wants the baby, like, they pay for everything, like, they pay for all the
Yeah.
doctor's appointments, they buy all the food they want you to eat, they buy all the prenatals, they buy, all of the things that they would want to use themselves for the surrogate, and then other people, like, you get paid a some amount on top of that. So, I mean, if I was getting a good chunk of change and they were covering all my shit, I'd be like, why not?
Money talks.
Because that then
For
becomes like
sure.
your job, being pregnant. And then I feel like
100%.
again, I don't know. I've never known a surrogate, but I feel like there's added stress in knowing you're carrying someone else's baby. Because
Hmm.
like at the end of the day, like I feel like you probably want to make sure you're doing everything right. Because if something goes wrong or like I just feel like you want no hiccups or they're gonna look to you like the fuck did you do here.
Yeah, like you would have to have a really open line of communication, being like,
Yeah.
this is what I want you to eat for breakfast. This is what I want you to, what prenatals I want you to take. This is how often I want you to go to the doctor. This is what I want you to do. Like, you would have to be like really like intense about communication to, kind of prevent that. Cause then that way the surrogate can be like, I did everything you want me to do. Like, it's not my fault if something went wrong or whatever.
No, that's true.
I'm just
But yeah,
thinking if someone wanted me to eat like every whatever they wanted for every meal, you got to prep that or you got to have a service coming. I'm not cooking. You want me to
they,
cook? You want me to eat
they,
eggs every day? You want to cook them? No chance.
they very well might buy
It
all
might
of
be
your
fair.
food and send you food, like I'm sure there's levels of like how intense surrogacy is. Like if you're like real chill about it, like fuck yeah, I'll carry your baby and I'll just, live my normal life. But I feel like if you're someone that can't have kids yourself, there's a good chance that you want to have as much control over that pregnancy as you possibly can because
Yeah.
you you're relying on that person to provide something for you that you can't necessarily do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably like ultra focused, hyper
I'm
focused.
I'm
Yeah. I
surprised he
just
got beat up so much in the comments. I mean, like
Bro,
I understand like it is your body, your choice, right? But like if you are a partnership, that's a massive decision to make. So to not even like talk about it, have a discussion. Like I think at the end of the day, if you want to be like, I'm gonna do this regardless,
I'm
like
not
that's your decision. But
correlating
still.
the two, but the way he was getting beat up was like similar to the guys who get on there and post stories about how like now they're on child support or now they're like raising a kid that they didn't want and they asked Shorty to abort or whatever because it was her body, her choice. He was getting beat up in like that same realm of like, nigga, none of this is your say because like it's her body. And to me, I was just like, this just cannot. There's no way all of you think that like makes sense. It's not even like these niggas were like boyfriend and girlfriend. These are they are legally bonded. Like there's got to be a way he has a choice on something that huge. They weren't buying it. Alternative, there was one or two comments that were really looking out for him. They were super downvoted, and they were saying just kind of be not involved at all. They were like, take the kids and go to your parents for like the next year, or just
What?
be as hands off as possible. This isn't your
Ridiculous.
child. It's not your job to do her late night pregnant cravings and things like that. And I was like, that's also probably dicey. You definitely probably can't take the kids.
No way.
And then
no, it's not your
the
child,
being
but it's
petty
your
on
life.
like, yeah, it's still that's the problem. Yeah, it's still your wife. So like you probably can't be petty about like the things that come with pregnancy.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
if
I'm
you were
sure
like, no,
every now and then it could cause some real problems, but like overall, grand scheme of things, like she's still your wife and she's undergoing a massive medical event. If you fucking love her, support her while she does that.
Could
you
you
know
imagine like just
though,
the stories of like morning sickness and not being able to sleep through the night for like acid reflux and shit like that, and like
I mean,
that
dating a
ir-
woman is
that
hard enough.
interrupting your regular scheduled program, that might be enough to piss me off because it's not even my fucking kid.
bro. Imagine late night cravings where it's like 10:30 and she's like, "Damn, I really want this like hoagie from Wawa and these chips and they're sold out." And you're like, "Got to do that drive." And you're like, "I'm my fucking kid, man."
Or imagine one commenter was saying, like,
Snap,
imagine if this goes like wrong. Like, knock on wood, it doesn't. I think from the story, she's definitely going through with that shit. Like, what if she's like on bed rest or some shit for like months at a time? Now you're like, you're also her servant. It would just be a lot to sign. If you're both on board, no problem at all. I think it's a lot to sign up for. If one, you don't run it by your partner, and two, your partner from the start is not on board and thought y'all were out of the pregnancy stage of your life.
yeah. And she
Yeah.
had the postpartum stuff too. That's heavy for 18
Yeah, that's
months.
tough.
That's hard to be like, damn, we got to go through that potentially again. Like, mm-mm.
Yeah, that's probably weighing heavy on him.
And
Yeah. I
like,
mean, the things that we go through, like just hormonally on their own, is hard enough sometimes. Like adding a pregnancy onto that, like I give straight men and lesbians a lot of credit for dealing with women in general because it's complicated, but yeah, I feel like if the significant other is not on board, you're just asking for a huge amount of problems.
So many.
We're
Let's
just get
let's
balls.
keep hmm?
My bad.
Let's keep this paternity talk going. A little bit of a different direction. Paternity slash maternity leave replacements could be bad morally, but maybe good for business.
Okay. It was on that same 3 hour journey. It was really a shout out him because I had a 5 hour drive. That shit was perfect. Um, and then the one right after that was an hour and 17 minutes, but it was one story with so many updates. Intriguing.
Oh,
Um, Long story short, firing women who take maternity leave to replace them. That was the gist of the story. And here's
oh
why.
wait, you're firing them? I thought maybe you're bringing in like temps. I was like, that makes sense. You bring in a temp for a couple months and then you're good to go.
Here's the issue. Depending on the job you have, you can get longer. I know some shorties who ended up with 6, 8 months paid type shit. So like,
Mm.
depending on where you work and how decent your company is, they might really take care of you. The problem I've always said with things like that, it's a capitalistic world war. We want as much as we can get for as little as we can get. You got those like there's some bosses who like don't want to show you everything because they don't want their like superior, not the superiors, they don't want the people under them, their direct reports, to ever be able to replace them. And there's other bosses that show you everything. I'll show you everything because I don't want you bothering me while I'm out. Like, do you, nigga? And if you good enough to take my job, I'll go get a new one. I am not pressed. They posting jobs every day. Um, Shorty was talking about how she had this plan. She knew about the pregnancy. She got well, clearly she knew about it. She knew when it was coming. She had 4 months to prepare. She had six months off paid. So she had trainings to like get her people up to speed, have them working with her clients. She was like a senior exec or some shit. So she made like introductions between her direct reports to the clients, let them know who was going to handle who. It was a firm of some sort. I think it was like a finance firm or some shit. Shit like that, trained them all up. Shit was going smooth. The problem is, once that 6 months was up, Shorty came back to her job. They held her down for like another 4 or 5 weeks and then fired her. Cause like we pay these niggas probably 100K less than we pay you. You've now trained them to do your complete job, trusted them with the competence to not bother you while you was gone for 6 months. Why am I still paying you the 300, 400 when these niggas doing it for 250? It's trash. It's terrible, but I don't hate it. Morally, it's terrible. Business wise, the shit makes sense. I can't pay you this much more for a nigga who's doing the job for that much less. And like, if you're a good boss and you really wanted to make sure shit went smooth and you really wanted to make sure you had a smooth maternity leave, paternity leave, you didn't want to be bothered, you probably taught them the ins and outs in that 4 months. So now they really do not need you. Any business that's going to be able to go 5, 6 months without you there, without any contact from you, you've now shown them that like you are very replaceable at a much cheaper price. I gotta replace you. So we
Mm.
firing Shorty's today. They gave her 5 weeks. I'm giving them 2.5. 2.5 weeks after you get back from your maternity leave, you're gone, Shorty. Don't even
That's a
come back.
lawsuit.
Look for a
Immediate
job the
lawsuit.
whole time you're on maternity leave because you do not got one when you get back.
So the moral of the story here is if you ever have to take maternity leave, just gatekeep your job. Just don't tell people shit. Tell them how to do it wrong. So they fuck up and they're dying for you to come back.
I'm not gonna lie. You've got to probably gatekeep something, or you've got to understand that there's probably a 50-50 chance when you come back, you don't got a job. So you got to near the end of that maternity leave, you probably got to start gearing up for a new job. Because
Yeah, I mean some
I just think it's gonna be too hard to come back to a job in which you've trained niggas who make that much less than you to do your job with full confidence. Like you've now shown us like you're not necessary.
yeah, like I see the appeal. I don't like it either, but I see the appeal. But I mean there are some jobs that straight up tell women like if you leave for maternity leave for X amount of time, like we cannot guarantee your job, which I mean that's nice. It's nice that they give them a heads up, but then it sucks cuz then they have to make a decision of like Do I heal my body and stay home with my baby, or do I worry about my job more? Like, there are other
Yeah,
countries that have this figured out, like fucking Norway, I think, gets like 6 months maternity leave. And a
it's a
lot of them.
very flawed system. Because I know a shorty who went through that same thing. She has 6. They told her 6 weeks. You have 6 weeks to decide whether this job means more than staying home with your kid, pretty much. And she was back week 7, and it's
Mhm.
like I don't love the idea of doing that to somebody. It's actually like a shame we've come to that. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. When I heard that story, I was like, yeah, don't let me be a business owner because all of y'all bitches is jobless. 0 jobs on return. The dudes too. Don't worry. The paternity leave niggas, y'all is not having a job when you get back either.
Oh my god.
I just feel like you're opening yourself up to so many potential lawsuits with like a wrongful termination because that's family shit. Especially don't let JD Vance find out. He won't
I
fuck around with
honestly
that.
think you would be. I think you would be covered, honestly, because as much as it morally sucks, like business need, you can always like you will always be able to turn shaving salaries as a business need. Like, yeah, we need to allocate money in other departments. This nigga makes too much money. We have niggas who do his job less. Like, it's a business need to cut ties with him.
I think you probably just have to time if you were gonna do it again, morally bad, business wise. You probably have to time it to a certain like if she got like 4 or 5 weeks, it might be enough of a time where you're like, yeah, we brought her back, we kind of reevaluated what the business needs were, and we didn't find a need for the position at this time.
Yeah, you probably do got to give it enough because give it about a month and you can like point out this is how much more money we're spending now that she's back. Gotta go.
Damn. So
Sheesh.
you would just let someone have a baby, a whole new responsibility financially, and be like, "Yeah, we're going to take your job away. Now that you have this huge other financial responsibility, we're going to take it away." You could, if you really want to get businessy, like if you want to have terrible morals about it, you instead of taking her job away, you could just be like, "Actually, we'd like to add a little bit more onto your plate, to get your money's worth," kind of deal. Like that would be
Mm.
the alternative, which I don't like either. But your business
I don't
brain,
hate that idea.
I feel
I
like,
like that idea because I can force her to quit.
Just give her too much work.
Yeah, I'm gonna give
poor.
her too much work. The hours are gonna get extended. So you're already salary. You know what comes with this.
So yeah, we
Oh
need
yeah,
those
you're
overtime
toast.
hours from you.
Yeah, you
I
might
mean,
have to
at
do
least
12, 14
at
hours a
least
day.
they'd still have the job.
Yeah, you gotta make her
Especially if it's
fire herself. You said
someone
what?
making a lot of money. Someone making a lot of money, like to lose that job and then have to start over to try to get back up to that pay. Like that's a huge lifestyle change. You're ruining this family essentially.
Damn.
No, yeah, they're really ruining. And I seen on LinkedIn like the hardest jobs to get in America are like between 72 and like 210,000, because those are generally you're starting to approach like management of some capacity, and those positions don't like open up as often, and they've got like so many applicants. So once you get up to 300, it's probably like super senior exec. So now you're waiting for like niggas to retire so you can apply to jobs.
Right. It's
Yeah,
like
her
you
family's
take
Bring in
away
toast.
that
headhunters.
you take away that salary from someone, boom, they're homeless, they can't afford their mortgage anymore. They got to sell their cars, they got to sell their kid at that point. Like shit.
We
Damn.
got to let them go around October, November. That way we don't have to pay their benefits. The benefits won't renew.
Just ruin Christmas. Like we're just going to
Yeah,
ruin
because those
Christmas for
benefit
you two while we're
packages
at it.
get a little those benefit packages get a little crazy. So yeah, we got to make sure like right around the holidays. Sadly,
Santa's not coming this year. Sorry.
they got a baby. That's all they need.
Mm-mm.
Merry
God.
Christmas. Here's your baby and nothing else.
Terrible. Terrible people.
Jesus. You're the worst.
All right.
No, that
Different
job
topic.
is the worst.
No. Different topic. Whether you're in a fight or not, how long could your significant other go without talking to you before you deem it unacceptable?
Are we talking like you're still around each other?
Yeah,
Like you still
silent
see each
treatment.
other?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, we're not talking like special circumstances like maybe you're gone or
No,
whatever.
you're not on the boat and it doesn't matter.
it's a regular day,
Just a
regular
regular
week.
how long I could go with him not speaking to me to where I'd be like, what the fuck is wrong here?
Oh, if you didn't know too, damn.
Yeah, if you don't know, then that makes it worse. But even if you know, I mean, I'm all about letting people take their time, take their space. You know, if you need space, and that's fine. I'll respect that. I might not like it, but I'll respect it. But damn, like more than a day, I'd be upset.
If I didn't know why Anna was mad at me and she was just giving me silent treatment, she's got like an hour or two. I'm gonna break
Oh
it.
yeah,
I'm gonna break her down. She's gonna tell me.
yeah,
I gotta find out. And
not
then if I find out and I'm like, all right, then you can have like a day.
right.
I agree. If I don't know,
Yeah,
it's
if I
probably like
know,
within a shorter time window. If I know why, maybe like from the time you're mad to the end of that day. I don't think he gets to roll into the next day. It's not like a 24
Mm.
hours, 48. I'd be like, what is going on here? We're adults. Yeah, nah,
yeah,
that would be about the extent. Because once it gets past that, it's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
right. Especially if it's like, you know, evening time, like, damn, I'm not gonna get no, like, I love you. Or like if you're leaving somewhere, like I don't like to leave without saying like, and I love you, goodbye. Cause you never know what could happen. So if I didn't get one
True.
of those, I'd be like, at the very least, I need that. And then you can still be mad, but I don't want, you know, our potential last interaction to be silent treatment. That would suck.
Damn. I'd have to live with that.
I know
Yeesh.
that's like a heavy
No,
thought
that's
where
actually
my brain
crazy. Yeah, they got about a day.
Damn.
yeah.
Might have to use that in the future. You really decide, what if I die? I hop in the shower, slip, and fall. That's how you want to feel? All
That
right,
feels
got it.
manipulative, but shoot it. I love it.
You never know.
Yeah, nah. The story they had gone like 18 days without talking in the same house, and I was like, that's almost impressive.
What?
Almost
Who was
impressive.
this?
He, the story that the Reddit stories, he was saying that her man had gone 18 days without talking to her. He was getting up, going to the gym, going to work, coming home, bringing his own dinner, and then sleeping in the guest room.
That is
Y'all must have
next
had some
level petty.
Yeah,
some
that's.
serious issues to do that.
I feel like I would have to like try very hard to not speak to the person I live with for 18 days.
Yeah, either something like astronomically major happened between them or he just like has the emotional intelligence of a goldfish.
I don't think she knew what it was,
Mm.
or she
Oh,
wasn't
then
She
this
let that
telling
man,
it was
go?
in it, or
that
she
man is
wasn't telling
petty.
it was in the story. You know, sometimes with Reddit they write the story that they want to tell, so some details might have been
Mm.
left out. But I don't
You're
think
right.
the reason why they weren't talking was included.
Yeah, if she didn't
God damn.
know, then like that man, that's a red flag. I'd be like, I'm out of here. This is not living like this.
18
Oh
days
yeah,
is
I definitely have to be
insane.
out of there.
Like, it's time to
I
grow
don't know
up,
if you can
buddy.
come back. I don't know if you could come back from not talking to me for 18 days. Like, what? Kind of like when people like get in fights with their like SO and like, ew, I just said SO like talking. That was strange. But kind of like when people get in fights with their person and like leave the house for days at a time. I'm like, this is also getting kind of strange.
That's
Like, I'm
crazy.
gonna stay at my buddy's house, so I'm going back to my mom's. I'm like, what the fuck, nigga?
It's
Yeah,
got to
that's weird.
be. It would have to be something serious to be acting like that.
But also
I
like
couldn't even imagine.
it's time to figure out like some communication skills at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like a temper tantrum at that rate.
Yeah, and that's fucking embarrassing.
Because what's the alternative? They're like, I'm leaving because I'm so upset I might what hit you. Well, if you're so upset you might hit you, we have other problems.
Do it now and get it over with. Like, whack
Oh,
me now so we can be done with this.
Hale said domestic violence, please, so we can move on.
I mean,
That's crazy.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah, never mind. I'm not even going to say that.
Oh,
no, yeah.
Hale's
Save
always
that
trying to
one
get
for later.
canceled when she comes on the podcast. First it was the R. Kelly comment, now she's like, just hit me and like we'll
I don't
get,
even
Shout out to
remember
Ezra.
what
That
I
was
said. I don't even remember what the R. Kelly conversation was anymore. It was so long ago.
pretty good. I'm
you
not gonna
were
lie. And
I
In
also
case you
didn't
were
really
wondering,
know what happened.
he is still in jail, just for the record.
I
Hales
feel
was
like
like a big supporter of R. Kelly. Yeah.
I didn't really know what happened. I was
Yeah, I
speaking
don't
out of
think he knew
turn.
that he was like the hero that he is to
No,
somebody.
I really didn't know. So I'll just
She was
retract
not.
whatever it was that I said then. I don't remember, but it was obviously not the right thing to say.
Mm-mm. Apology years later.
We probably could do a couple of retraction tours for things said.
I mean, we all say stupid shit every now and then. It's all about growth, you know?
We have grown.
Yeah.
You gotta
Yeah.
grow
Maybe
from
just
it.
What
leave
dad takes to come.
some of those old takes in the past for sure.
What do you got? Oh, he's-
Um, this is also kind of an interesting question. Have you ever considered that you were not your significant other's first choice? Sometimes people move, timing isn't always right. We know that in every rom com. People get married, wrong people, stuff like that.
Yes. I haven't thought about it for me, but I've thought about it in
Mm,
general because I put some time into this. Um, I feel like for other people, not me, there are many people out there who were second or third choices and they don't necessarily realize that. It's not necessarily bad by any means. Like I said, people get married, people die. Like niggas is marrying widows to dead niggas. Like you was not her first love. Do not let her tell you you was. She loves the nigga that's buried in somebody's grave, bro. She still visit him every couple of months. Like you're not her first love, and that's okay. Um, so yeah, I think in certain situations, there's like tons of reasons you wouldn't be somebody's like first love. Some people's first love or first choice was like their high school sweetheart. That was never gonna be the
mm.
right person for them. It was never gonna work out, but they were like dumb enough to think that. So, and then people move away, people get job promotions, timing's not right. So yeah, I think actually, you know what? I'll even include myself in there. There's probably a chance that like everybody in the world wasn't their person's first choice. I think the difference is if y'all like grow to that level at some point and you become each other's like person. Because there's way too many like outside outliers that could affect if like you were really somebody's first choice or not.
Right. I mean, and there's like a reason why someone's possible first choice didn't work out. That obviously
Yeah.
was not meant to work out in whatever capacity they thought it was going to at the time. Sometimes you don't realize it until later on, like why something happened the way
Facts.
it did. Like everyone's had that person where they thought it was something and then, you know, maybe a bomb blew up in their face. Or it could have just been like a casual fizzle out, but shoot, I'm
I would
thinking
prefer
like,
the bomb.
yeah.
I feel like the
Yeah.
ones that like casually fizzle out, or when you talk to people and they're talking and like, yeah, that was my first love. I don't really know why we split up. It's like, what you mean you don't know why you split up? They still want that shorty, or she still wants that
Yeah.
man. They can't tell you the reason they split up, or they don't remember why things went south. Yeah, they still love that person.
Yeah, those are definitely the ones that keep people thinking. When there's a bomb that blows up and you have like a harsh lesson thrown in your face to learn, it's like so easy to get over it at that point.
Hmm.
Yep.
Makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I think it's more logical than not that you aren't someone's first choice because if you're really thinking about just people who are in these like long school, high school, middle school, all the way through college relationships and like things don't work out, like you're just not going to. It's just kind of adulthood. I think it's kind of a unicorn if you dated from high school all the way and you're still going strong.
Yeah, or you just
No,
like didn't branch out at all. You didn't give yourself any opportunity to grow or like put yourself in a place where you would even meet other people. I mean, good for you. Like if that works out from high school, and like
not good
that's
for you.
beautiful in a way, but also like you don't know any different. You wouldn't
Yeah,
even
that's
know if
it.
someone else would have been your first choice.
Ignorance is bliss, though.
Yeah, it's almost like forced. But I will say, watch out for anybody who is still like chasing the allure of their like first choice or anybody who has like a rape. Like I'm not saying you got to be on bad terms or hate your exes, But the people who have like raving reviews, I couldn't tell you one bad thing about her. I'm like, you couldn't tell me one bad thing about this person that you split up with? That's like strange. Or
It's like,
like the
so
ones who
obviously,
can like,
split up with you.
or
She
like the
ended
ones
it.
who like when they're in each other's city go grab lunch and shit. I'm like, buddy, like you can be cordial, but you can't be friends. Like, what's going on here? Those are the ones you gotta watch out for. Because you're probably
Yeah.
not their number one, and they're probably like actively pursuing their number, not actively, but like passively pursuing their number one in some capacity. Like you tell y'all talk like on a weekly basis, a monthly
Ooh,
basis.
red flag.
Come on, man, you're getting weird.
I don't know. I don't know. I think there are some situations where that works out. Where it's not that they didn't love each other, it's that something else wasn't matching up in their lives that they weren't willing to compromise. Kind of like they don't love each other, but they have love for each other still. Does that make sense?
I don't
Sure,
hate
but
the
like
having
you don't
love
need to
for each
talk all
other,
the time.
but if you have love for that person, that may have been your one. If you have love for that person, you probably gotta go like no contact because like what happens in 3 to 5 years on when the thing that y'all couldn't compromise on, y'all are now willing to compromise. He didn't want to move to the East Coast. You didn't want to move from the West Coast. Now he's got a new job in your city. Damn, the one thing we couldn't compromise has been fixed. We've kept in communication this whole time. Now you're getting drinks with him. Oh my gosh.
Now you're
And
getting
then
left at the altar.
The altar. We saw what happened to Ted.
Yep.
that's what they make Hallmark movies about, though. That kind of shit.
Yeah, but you can't be holding on years upon years. It's
First
different
of
if you
all,
like break up 6 months later, you see them at the bar and you're like, damn, they're looking good. I'm
Yeah,
looking good. Let's get back together.
let's look good together. Yeah, I mean, you should totally still live your life in the meantime. Pursue other people, pursue other things. But if the universe brings you back together, then
oh,
maybe it was,
get out of
maybe
small
it was
Hmm.
towns
meant to.
too. Get out of small towns too. Here's my small town rant for the day. Small town niggas be falling for this like the universe brought us back together. No, that's not
You
what
just didn't
happened.
leave.
There's 3 bars in a 40-mile radius. You're bound to run into each other. You just started going out after 4 or 5 months of heartbreak. He just got divorced after a 2-year marriage. This is not the universe. This is this small town forcing us to the same drinking hole
What about
or the
if it's in
same
my
grocery store.
situation? What about my situation where the universe forced us back together at his brother's wedding
Who?
after I hadn't seen him? Me and Jason. We
Where's he from?
graduated.
Is he from your town? Is he from your same
Yeah,
town?
yeah, we graduated high school together.
Okay, so do you think that was the universe? Or do you think it was like coincidentally he was single while you were single at the same place because y'all live in the same town?
He wasn't single at the time, and I was 3 weeks away from
Haley,
leaving for
don't give me
Florida.
no
Homewrecker.
hair. Oh
Jesus
my gosh.
I
Christ.
was planning to leave for Florida 3 weeks, like after, yeah, like the wedding, and then 3 weeks after that is when I was leaving for Florida to go work on the boats. He was seeing someone at the time, and just kind of went from
I don't
there.
even know
She
what the
did
you
go
know
right.
is.
That means she had 3 weeks to break up that relationship and then go
Oh my
steal
god.
this man.
I mean,
Hey,
essentially, he realized who he was with was not someone that was going to work for him long term. Like, he's a father. The girl he was with at the time was
okay.
not in any way
Well,
suitable for that. And
mhm.
I straight up told him, I was like, listen, dude, like, I'm leaving for Florida in 3 weeks to go pursue a different career. And I'm doing that whether you and I work out or not. So, like, if you want to stick around, that's great. But if not, I totally get it. And I was gone for like 8 months. Got to come home one time for like 3 days. And we were solid, good the whole time and have been together ever since that.
I appreciate shooting your shot and going after what you want. But I can't call it the universe. I've got to call it a small town effect. You're bound to run into each other. Because
I
what'd you do? You
mean,
had to come back home to that town?
I was going to his brother's wedding because
Was it
I
in that
was,
town?
Yeah, we all went to school together. Like, I was invited to the wedding and then went to the wedding, and Jason was there, and I was like, "Holy shit, I haven't seen you in 10 years. You're a father now. What's up?" And, we just started talking and then didn't stop talking since then.
I don't want to
Damn.
talk to anybody I haven't seen in 10 years.
Like, he and I were friends when we were younger. It's not like we didn't like each other. Like, we were cool back then, so it was like we were just kinda, you know, catching up, and then it
Hey,
went
the
elsewhere.
small town worked for you. And you were able to get out and see the world. A lot don't. They
Exactly.
don't get to escape that.
Exactly. I was still
You're able to
able
see the
to.
Poconos. Like, come on.
The Poconos is the world.
Got to go to college. Got to visit that dirty city of Philadelphia. It's like you've done it all.
Shout
We
out
love
Temple.
Philly. Yeah, I love Philly.
I'm happy for you.
All right, we're running long. Do you want to hit this last topic, or do you just want to go into top five?
What's the
Last
last
time.
topic?
The
You got Haley hit it.
accommodations.
You
All
said
right.
what?
How accommodating are you willing to be while planning an event out? It could be for celebrating a birthday, a promotion. It could be your birthday. It could be someone else's birthday. Are you taking suggestions? Are you worrying about dietary restrictions? Anything like that?
Nope. I've got a baseline in my head of like what I consider accommodating. Like Labor Day, we're thinking about maybe doing something. Um, Probably gonna fire up the smoke at the grill. I'm probably gonna do burgers, hot dogs. We're gonna do like probably brisket, maybe ribs or some shit. Don't have the complete menu done yet. They'll probably be brisket and chicken, brisket pulled chicken. I feel like I've already been accommodating. I'm giving you 3 or 4 options. We'll have beer. We've got liquor. There's some wine. There'll be sides, probably like potato salad or beans or corn or some shit. I've given you options already. That's as accommodating as I'm gonna get. If I'm planning like an outing for like my son's birthday or like let's say Mother's Day or something, telling the siblings pull up, we going to a restaurant. The restaurant that I pick, it might not be everybody's favorite restaurant, but these niggas got options on their menu. That's as accommodating as I'm gonna be. I'm not taking suggestions on what restaurant we're going to, what type of food y'all may want. I'm probably gonna pick what I want to eat, honestly. And then y'all can find something on that menu that works. Like, come on. That's how restaurants work. You find something on the menu you like. I'm not going out my way asking suggestions or where do you want to eat or what part of the city you want to be in. No chance. Cause then I gotta like be receptive to your feedback and like hear why your feedback wasn't accepted. So I'm gonna just cut that step out.
I thought you were talking about the other topic, but yeah, I mean, I eat gluten free, so if there's something for me, then I'm good. Everyone else bound to find something else that they can find. If there's kids involved, that kind of changes things a little bit because I don't want kids crying, whining, ruining the whole thing. But grown adults, yeah, they can manage on their own to find something that they like.
When did you become gluten free?
Like 4 years ago, I'm not like super
Oh, that's
strict
like
about it
new.
anymore, but I'm not super strict about it anymore, but enough to where it helps my stomach problems significantly.
Hmm.
It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
I think the only thing I would be is like any dietary or like allergy shit. We had that a lot in St. Louis. We had friends who were vegan and vegetarian, so we try to pick places that had at least like an option or two for that. That's
Mm.
the only thing. As far as like suggestions, like I kind of agree. If I'm planning out for like Anna's birthday or like my birthday, like there'll be something for you to eat. I'm not just gonna pick like a steakhouse, obviously, if people don't like that only does that. But like most
Plus, like,
restaurants will take care of somebody.
if it's your birthday, be like, we're
Yeah,
going somewhere you like, and if I don't like it, that's my personal problem to deal with because it's not my event, you know?
yeah.
I agree. You can get something in the car. Like, come on. Like on the way
Yeah,
there.
I bring stuff. I scope out the menu ahead of time. If there's not something on there that I should eat or want to eat, then I'm pregame with my own meal beforehand. Just get a little appetizer or
Yeah,
something like that. Like,
that's
Hey,
true.
I'll bring
I'm
my
not
own
mad at
food.
that. I'm not mad at that. I seen there was a story on that one, and they were pretty much saying that like his wife refused to go to the dinner because of that. But he offered some solutions I've never heard of, which I kind of like for the kid aspect. If you have kids who are kind of picky eaters, I know a grown man that still eat like a kid, but that's a story for another day. And like you're going somewhere a little nicer, and you don't think you'll find the kids a spot. He was like, what he does is he'll get like they'll all sit down like their grandparents, his family or whatever, and they'll eat like dinner and they'll order the kids dessert there, and then they'll leave there, go to a place for the kids, and they'll get dessert at that place. And I was like, that's
I
like
don't
the
hate that.
worst thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a process, but there's ways to work around it. But
No,
grown
it's definitely a
adults,
process. It
different.
won't be a process I'm doing because my kids gonna eat what's on that plate, or they're not eating anything. But for the parents who are maybe gentle parenting and working around their kids' eating habits, that could work for you.
I think that probably works a lot better if you're at a place that has a bunch of restaurants that you could just walk to. But I'm definitely not driving downtown, get a new parking spot to another place. No, we're not doing all that.
No. We're working with what we got right here where we are.
Gotcha. All right. Before we get into our next topic, we wanted to give a quick shout out to the sponsor of this week's episode, Zencastr. When we first started recording PorchTlk, we were using whatever rinky-dink setup we could, but we realized we needed to step our game up to a legit setup, and that's where Zencastr came in. It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log into your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sound and up to 4K video with your guest. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Trust me, I know. If you have thought about podcasting before and realized that you need a lot of different tools and services, those days are over. With Zencastr's all-in-one podcasting platform, you can create your podcast all in one place and distribute it to Spotify, Apple, and other major destinations. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code PorchTlk and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. We want you to have the same easy experience we do for all our podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story, and honestly, they have a free plan too if you need it. It's just as good. Shout out to Zencastr, and let's get back to the episode. Let's get into this week's top 5. This week we are doing the top 5 Adam Sandler movies. Obviously, we've seen these movies that we're listing. We're not just going to list movies we haven't seen.
All right. Number 1, Hustle. I liked Hustle a lot. If you haven't seen it, it should still be on Netflix. It's fire. Number 2, Billy Madison. One of his greatest. Billy Madison is up there. Number 3, I get a lot of hate for this because for some reason people didn't get it. Uncut Gems. Uncut Gems was a hit.
Didn't like
4,
it.
No, Uncut Gems was a hit. 4, The Week of. Don't like Chris Rock at all, but him and Chris Rock really did their thing in that one. And then my last one was a hard, but I'm gonna go Happy Gilmore because it's hard to leave it off.
Mm-hmm. We have
Hail's
two
gonna be yours.
overlapping ones. We have two overlapping ones. I went for all OG old ones that I saw when I was younger. Billy
Like that.
Madison, Happy Gilmore, The Water Boy. I mean, come on.
Ooh.
You
No,
can't
man,
not The Water Boy. Big Daddy. Last one, a little weird. I remember seeing this when I was younger, thinking like, this is kind of fucking bizarre. My brother really liked it, therefore I ended up watching it a lot, and it kind of grew on me. Little Nicky.
Never seen it.
It's a weird one. It's
I
a
haven't
weird
seen
one.
Big Daddy either.
What?
I
No.
think you're missing out.
I'm pretty sure like the little kid in the movie is like Dylan and Cole Sprouse when he was like when they were like itty bitty.
Oh, wouldn't be surprised. They had to get started somewhere.
Yeah, Little Nicky was weird. There's this one part where this weird guy has like literal tits on top of his head, and that image is kind of burned into my brain. But it was, there were funny aspects of it. My brother liked it.
It was in fact the Sprouse brothers.
Damn.
Knew it.
All right. I had some crossover as well. Number 1 for me, Happy Gilmore. Number 2, Billy Madison. Number 3, 50 First Dates. Number 4, The Longest Yard. Number 5, personal favorite. Don't think it's for everybody. I liked Click growing up, so I watched it a lot.
You said watch what?
Click.
Oh,
when he had like the remote control that controlled like everything going on. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Got a couple honorable mentions. Your list isn't terrible. Also felt very old Adam Sandler. Definitely didn't really like 50 First Dates though, but Longest Yard I did have as an honorable mention. Waterboy I also had as an honorable mention. And then You're So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah, recent one. It's
Was that
fire.
good?
You said what?
That was good. I
It
haven't
was
seen it.
good. The only reason I didn't, because I wanted, it was either going to be that or Happy Gilmore. I didn't know if I was going to leave Happy Gilmore off. Put Happy Gilmore on because it was a classic. The You're So Not Invited to My Bar Mitzvah kind of felt like it was more his daughter's movie. So
Mm.
I kind of let that one ride.
Haven't seen it, but I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, it's mad solid.
I was
All of
looking
his
up
recent
movies of
stuff's mad
his.
solid.
There was a couple ones I hadn't heard of. There was one like I don't even know, something stories, and then Punch Drunk Love, and I was like, they have really high reviews. Might have to check these out.
I'm surprised nobody said Grown Ups, but I also didn't really like Grown Ups, so I'm happy nobody said Grown Ups.
Yeah,
I didn't hate
yeah,
Grown Ups, but I love his older ones so much better. I think of like my
yeah.
childhood, like those
You gotta
movies.
hop in his new ones. It's different. It's like his new Jones, like none of them are really comedies, so they're a little more serious.
Oh, okay.
At
I
least the ones I'm fucking with. I'm not watching this comedy shit.
feel like
I
that's
think
why I
as a
watch.
kid, I think as a kid it was funny, but like I don't watch no Adam Sandler comedy and think that shit's funny now. Like I think comedy wise, pretty bottom tier movies, but they were classics growing up, and I remember liking them. But his new shit's solid.
Oh, Mr. Deeds.
Yeah,
No,
that was another one. I didn't like that
Forgot
one
about
as much
that.
as the other ones I listened to. But see, Ezra, that's how I feel about Jim Carrey. I can't fucking stand Jim Carrey's
oh
Mm.
yeah, I don't
timing.
watch
I
no
think
Jim
he
Carrey
is
shit.
so irritating. It's like he's just trying too hard all the time. But we're not talking about Jim Carrey, so I'll stop.
Next week, top 5 Jim Carrey movies.
None, zero, empty list. Everything
All
sucks.
right, post topics, real ones only. I think this could have been just an actual topic. Been watching the Olympics this weekend. Got back into it, watching the swimming track. Great events. And I was thinking about this. If you had from now until 2028 for those Olympics that are going to be in the U.S. to train, you don't have to worry about your job. You get a nice salary, everything's comfortable, and you were only focusing on training. What sport could you realistically make?
Shooting.
um, I
Shooting?
hate you. I hate you so much. I was also gonna say shooting.
I've got a great fucking shot. Like I'd be just next to that fucking Turkish guy, hand in my pocket. Maybe I'd hold it sideways just for fun, but like I could totally do that.
I hate you because I was gonna say shooting as well, but for different reasons. I don't even. I think I'm handy. I don't think I'm Olympic level great to brag about, but I think with 4 years of just training to do that, that's the least physical probably of all the Olympic sports. I think it'd be a lot of muscle memory, so just doing it over and over and over again. I think that would probably be the easiest one. Not the easiest. That would probably be the most achievable of the Olympic sports. Because
I
the
was
other
thinking
ones, you got to be
handball.
like a physical specimen. You said what?
Yeah, I was gonna play handball.
What
Nah,
even
got to be
is
a physical specimen. No chance. No chance.
what even
It's
is
like a
handball?
little net. You can only like throw it and then shoot like behind the line.
Oh,
If
okay.
not, definitely can't do handball. If not shooting, maybe equestrian. Because some of those people are like in their 50s when you see them. They're like 40s, 50s. I think if you could devote the next 4 years, do that every day, it's really like learning like what you need to do to get the horse to do what it's doing. Because the horse is gonna do all the work if you got a good enough horse. Horse is gonna do all the work. So now
I don't
you
think
just
you
have to
would be
train for
doing
four. You've got to train
I
for
don't think
4 years on being the handler.
mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't think you would be
Horse
giving
girls
the horse the right
everywhere are
energy.
upset.
I'm
You
not a
said
horse
what?
girl. Horse girls are fucking weird, but Ezra would not be giving that horse the right energy. He would be complaining about his ass hurting, sitting on the fucking saddle.
I
Listen,
might,
you
but
gotta
we got to
actually
keep
have
them.
technique to do that. And you gotta give the right energy for the horse to want to do what you want it to do.
You do, but in four
I
years, I
don't
might be
do
able to
that.
get taught. I might be able to get taught that. I'm going for the ones that are like the absolute least work for me. The horse is going to do most of
That's
the
a
work.
lot of work. No, I feel like that really comes with a lot of work. We're gonna need to, when you post this, have a poll. Horse girls, give us your input. because I really do feel like there's a lot of technique involved in that.
What do you want the question to be?
Do you think Ezra could attain that in 4 years? Why or why not?
In 4 years easier than obtaining the other Olympic sport.
Some of these bitches ride horses for like 30 years.
Yeah, but these other Olympic sports, these niggas is doing this all their life to get that great. This way, I can at least rely on the horse being having done this forever and being that great. I'm not even saying we place. Maybe I go to a company like Uganda that's not sending the equestrian team, and like I'm the best horse rider out. Come on.
The
That was
only
my
one,
one idea, was going for Puerto Rico in like a sport that they just have no one competing in, so I can automatically make it to the games.
Um,
someone from
quick.
my area is competing for Puerto Rico in wrestling that I
Damn,
knew from high school. Not like closely knew,
small
but
town.
our team wrestled his team. Yeah.
Love that.
And Joe Kovacs, too. He's from
Quick
Nazareth.
Olympic shout out. Sports that I have caught a little bit of and wasn't super definitely loved them, but like didn't really know what was going on. Surfing. I don't know if y'all seen
Mm,
the Olympic surfing. I had
crazy.
no clue how the fuck they were scoring that shit. I was so
No.
they're literally like in the ocean. The refs are in the ocean with them, and
Really?
one of the commentators is like, "He's too far out. There's no waves out there." And I'm like, "Wait a second. This isn't like an artificial like pool type shit. Like you're out here finding
No.
your wave."
They get like 30 minutes in the water, and then I think it's based on the amount of time that they're in the barrel of the wave.
I always thought the refs had like binoculars and they were just out there like this
No, they were like
fucking.
in that bitch. I was like, "What is going on here?"
I have a lot of respect for that.
I do too. I'm still very confused though because I don't know how far out they were out, how long. You said 30 minutes to like ride away. It's
Yeah, they go through like they all have like there's like a listed priority. Like once you hit a wave, then you go to like the bottom, and then the next person can kind
mm,
of like claim waves. But they give them a long time because there's you got to wait for certain waves to
I'm
ride.
gonna say, what if like my turn has better waves than the next person's?
It is what it is.
You got to work with what you
Sheesh,
got. Work with what nature gives you. I don't
that's
know,
tough.
man.
Also, I didn't realize how like spread apart these were. I was watching one of the swimmers talk about it, and he was talking about from like where they were staying to where the like swimming arena was like a 3 hour drive. And he was like, it's not
What?
even like in Paris. It was like outside
Mm,
of Paris, and it was like the tourists and the traffic. It took him like 3 hours to actually get there. And I was like, this sounds like terrible.
God damn.
I would be pissed. I heard there's no air conditioning in the Olympic Village either. I'd be like,
Oh yeah, I heard it's
I
been
can't
bad. The
fucking
food's
perform
bad.
if I can't sleep. If it's hot as hell, I'm not sleeping. I'm gonna lose everything and I'm gonna be pissed. I'd be
Yeah, they don't
like,
have
I'm
enough food.
going to a
Niggas are
hotel.
complaining. The shelters is bad. Fucking they're getting served raw chicken. Shout out Great Britain. Um, but if you haven't noticed, the teams who are living good, which a lot of other countries, I see some TikToks of other like athletes complaining, not complaining, but like shouting it out, is like the NBA squad, like the basketball team. Niggas pulled up in PJs. They're in like suites of hotels, while like these other countries are crammed. And I was like, that's
Yeah.
kind of assholey, but like these niggas
Well,
doing the right
they
thing.
decided to stay outside of the village,
Yeah,
so
smartest
that's
move
They
out
can,
because they the niggas is like probably the richest team combined out there. So they were not gonna
right.
slum it up with those guys. And it's a
nah,
shame
not
because
on those
like
cardboard beds.
yeah, I seen
Yeah,
it. I was
they
like,
can
this is
afford
crazy.
it.
Yeah, they're living good. But I do
Other
think they
athletes.
probably I think they got quite a trip to the basketball arena as well.
Mm.
There was a lady who won the one of like the road races for biking, and she had only started in 2017, so I think that's what piqued my interest. She was doing it as like a hobby in New York for the US, and then just like quit her job in 2021 and then started doing this.
And she
That's
won a medal?
awesome.
Yeah, she won gold.
Damn.
I also
Incredible.
how do you think about me throwing javelin trying to make it into the Olympics?
Nope. Hell
I think
no.
javelin in high school. I don't know. You got to throw pretty fucking far, I bet, to get into the
I'm about to say
Olympics.
those college niggas who do that, like no chance. Them niggas is big.
How big?
Yeah.
And they've been doing it forever. Like
How far
the
do they
What
throw
if I
throw?
have 4 years?
Yeah, but
What's
those
like the
throwers are like
average
big
throw?
men.
You got to figure out how far like the
Mm,
average Olympic javelin throw is.
mm.
That's not it, man. Because then you're gonna have to do two things. You're gonna not only have to like practice throwing the javelin, but you're gonna have to hit the weights to get big enough to throw the javelin. So now you're adding like extra work.
Also
It's
about
work.
technique too.
Yeah, so you're lifting, cramming protein, and learning technique. You're smoked.
Gold medal for 2020 was 87.58, and I think they do meters.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
chance.
So what is that?
God damn.
I should know that because most boats measure by meters. I should know what that measurement roughly is.
That to
Probably a few
feed,
hundred
why?
feet.
Oh, that to feed is 287 feet. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Like high school Hailey was throwing like 100 feet. And I was small of the javelin throw. Like there were some thick
Yeah,
girls out there
you
and
got it.
I would beat them.
You know
So
what?
like you really do have a chance. It's not all about size. It's about
He's
Oh,
technique
there we
too.
go.
those guys, no chance. He's got zero chance. If we're going track, like I've always said, you've got a shot marathoning or like triathloning. Because I feel
Oof.
like long as you train hard enough for 4 years, you don't have to be fast to really do that. You just got to build your
They're
endurance.
so stupidly fast.
Yeah, but you got to
They
build.
have such endurance. Like
Their mile times are like 4 or 5 minutes.
You could
It's
get down to that.
insane.
You could get
No
down to that. If
way.
you did that every day, all day for 4 years, that's all you're doing. You have no job.
No
maybe
way.
maybe do 1 mile, but not when they're doing like multiple
Or swimming,
because you got to
maybe.
be
Like you do like,
fast and keep it
No,
going.
swimming are freak athletes, dude. Watching them swim is
okay.
insane.
I was telling I was telling one of the homegirls the other day because we was on a call, me and the boys, and she was on the call, and I was saying a lot of these swimmers have acne, and it's not like good acne; it's a very bad acne. Do we think that is something wrong with being in the pool that often that is like fucking with their skin? Okay,
There's so
It
many
is
chemicals.
that's correct. That just
a
makes
lot of
sense.
swimmers have that.
My next question: um, do we not think that's a problem for like women's pH being in a pool as often as they got to be in a fucking pool? I don't want
Yeah,
to say this. I did the research. There's no way that's good for fertility. 100% no chance in hell that's good for fertility.
I mean, it's not great. Some people are more tolerant than others. Why do you think when we worked at camp, all these girls would bitch? I need to get out of my wet bathing suit. I don't want to get a yeast infection. It's like you're gonna be okay. Like if you're in a bathing
I don't
suit
know.
all day, every day for long. I was in a bathing suit all day, every day, the whole summer. Never had a problem.
well, because you weren't in the water. You were just sitting on the sidelines blowing whistles.
Yeah.
No, I was in the fucking lake. So much worse.
Oh, the
I'm
lake
not gonna lie, yeah.
is pure. It's clean.
That lake is also probably not good for fertility.
No, but
But yeah.
Ugh.
So yeah, I seen like terrible acne. I was like, damn, like this is way too many adults with acne. That pool is fucking them up.
Could be
yeah,
razor burns. You know, they like to shave, get
Mm,
smooth for
they
the
do like
ocean,
shit.
for
true,
the pool.
Could very well
true.
be that as well.
God. All
But
right,
they are
let's
expensive.
wrap this thing up. It's been a hell of an episode, Hales. Thank you for joining us. Let's do some music and TV recommendations.
Music wise, Girls by Kid Leroy is actually like super solid. And then TV, trying to catch up on House of Dragons. I just gotta like find the time. I think I'm like 3 episodes back now.
Heard the finale was dog shit.
Damn. I didn't even know we was
Well,
to the finale
so
yet.
was the throne. So
No, you're definitely right.
I need to
Hales,
watch
what do you
that.
got?
I literally don't really have any. I have been watching Sweet Tooth on Netflix. That's cute. They kind of lost me. Like I'm not gonna say what it was, but they lost me like about halfway through, or like maybe towards the end of the first season. Something looked a little ridiculous, but I have been watching that and I've been enjoying it. I don't really have any music recommendations, so I listen to the same fucking playlist on repeat for
Yeah, give us
years.
a song.
Hmm?
What's your go-to song on the
I don't
playlist?
have a go-to song. I just
Oh
shuffle
brother.
and I just let it go. Oh,
All right.
okay, I do have one. For anyone that likes reggae, Ayaterra is the band. Ayaterra is the band, and I really love the song Break Down the Walls.
I love that. You were like, I don't have anything. You're like, actually, do you want to hear a reggae recommendation for you?
Well, that's what I listen to for the most part.
All right, I'm going with City Lights by Hall Johnson. TV recommendation: rewatching Scrubs, putting Anna onto it. Great show, highly recommend.
I remember like.
Never
And with
seen
that being said, we're gonna wrap this podcast up. Thank you, Hales, for joining us. Do you have anything you want to plug while you're here?
No.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. You follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, PorchTlk, No A. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review on Spotify. Share the podcast with a friend. You can watch on Spotify. You can watch on YouTube. Subscribe. Do the whole damn thing. We'll be back. We will not be back next week. I'm on vacation. We'll be back the following week. Peace.